President Trump declaring Iran's supreme leader is dead.
Federal authorities, meanwhile, raiding 2 locations earlier today. One of them.
Yeah, man.
Why?
It ain't working out. We tried everything we could, but we gotta let you go.
All right, whatever.
All right, no hard feelings, right?
Look where I fell. Some of that tape covering the cell. I never croak, keep on the tail. Double my rates, you holding this elbows in the smoke. I'm holding the nail. I struck at the place. I pasted the snail.
Welcome back to
this fucking guy. No. You can't use my fucking government, bro.
Welcome back to the fucking
this
Miho and Mija content.
Yo, the fucking Chinga and Chinga Verde podcast.
A la verga.
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, pa. Bro. So the shit about your girl and the fucking kids today.
Yeah. So fucking they have been talking about me coming to these tournaments and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I'll go, whatever. As soon as I walk up, are you gonna propose to her?
Yeah, just instant opposite.
Instant. And I'm like, I don't know. That's up to her, bro. I don't have no say in that. Like, I'll pop the question, but like, it's up to her when she wants that shit to be done. And they're like, you gotta propose at the tournament right now. And I'm like, not happening. This is at like 9:45 this morning. I'm surrounded by like fucking 10 of these girls.
Oh God!
And they're
like 12, right? Like,
yeah, like
young,
11,
annoying.
12, yes, bro. And I'm like, no, it ain't happening. Blah blah blah. And then whatever. And so then the day goes on. Then her mom shows up to the tournament, and she's like, "How are you?" And I'm like, "I'm here. You know, this is how I want to spend my Saturday when it's 70 degrees outside, is inside watching fucking volleyball. But, you know, support the girl, take care of her, she takes care of you, you know. You take care of her, she'll do an oil change in the middle of the night." So then, like, they play like 3 games, and, you know, I'm outside of like the little complex where all the courts are, and I'm like leaning up against the fence, and her mom's right next to me on one side, and her stepdad's on the other side of me, and she's standing in front of me, and all these little girls start running up to us again. When are you going to propose? When are you going to propose? Right in front of her mom. And like, you know, it's like one of those deals where it's like her parents know it's going to happen at some point, but like not right now or not in the near future. And I'm like, I don't know, you know, whatever. And they're like, you got to propose at this tournament or on the 14th at the next tournament. Or you got to propose on a castle in Italy. And so I look at all of them and say,
fucking castle in Italy.
That's what I'm saying. So I was like, are y'all paying for it? And they were like, no, you got to pay for it. And I'm like, I got money, bro, but I ain't got money like that. You know, this girl might get proposed to in the back of a KFC. It'll be at a 7-Eleven.
Fucking Days Inn.
Yeah.
In Branson.
Or something, you know.
You guys went to fucking K1 Speed before.
Or something.
Then one of them rickety ass ones where they got the all wood
and
fucking
dog. Yeah. And Andretti's and all proposed.
Just bullshit.
And so, whatever, you know, that's going on. Oh, they're pressing me about when you're going to propose to her, blah, blah, blah. Mind you, like all day they've been hitting me with stuff. Blah, blah, blah. You know, do you love her? I'm like, yeah, bro, you know, that's my girl, whatever. And then we're standing in line at the concessions around lunchtime. And one of the little girls runs up and they're like, you got to kiss her on the lips right now to show that you love her. I'm like,
these kids are trying to get you to do fucking embarrassment rituals for them.
And I'm like, I don't do no PDA.
Kiss this girl.
Like, I don't do no PDA, nothing like that. That's not who I am.
Cavan, kiss your girl.
Kiss your girl, Cavan. I'm like, bro.
Kiss your girl in front of us, Cavan.
And I'm like, all right, y'all some weird ass 12-year-olds. I wasn't doing that shit when I was 12, bro.
What are they thinking about?
That's what I'm saying. So
we were 12. We saw our parents kiss, and it was
bro, not this. And these little girls are like running around like, I ain't got no hugs, saying this about themselves. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, what the hell? And so then there was this like boys team that had all these boy volleyball players on it. And they're all like, we like number 50, we like number 31, blah, blah, blah. So this is like back to the part where I'm
all the little boys are gay, bro.
Yeah, like,
I hate to break it to them little girls, like, but all the little boys are probably gay.
And so then
you don't play volleyball if you're a straight guy.
No. And then so I'm like back to the area of like leaning up against the fence with her mom on my side and her stepdad on the other side of me. And here comes the little boys team. And I already know, I'm already intel on the info that these girls are geeking over these little boys. So as they're walking by, I start hitting the little girls. I'm like, there go your boyfriends right there. There go your boyfriends right there.
This is just payback.
Just payback, hitting them, bro. So then her mom pulls out like fucking 3 fucking Advil or Tylenol, dog. And all these little girls are hitting me with this shit. I just look at her mom like, you got any extra of them? And her mom just starts dying, bro. She's like,
perk.
yeah, she's like, nah, I don't got that. You know, you got to face this shit sober. I'm like, man, fuck that. So
Imagine like a couple years ago.
yeah,
We've been yacked out.
Yacked out at a
shit.
fucking
Teeth
tournament.
fucking slamming together.
But so then they play this game, and they are like, this is like the pool games, and then they're about to start the bracket. Well,
Okay.
I'm leaving, bro. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. I've been
Yeah,
here
why?
since 9:30. I'm like, bro, I can't take this shit no more. I'm going home. So, like, all the little girls like run off back to the concession area, and she catches me like on the court, and I'm like, all right, I'm going home. She's like, you don't want to stay? And I'm like, nah, 7 hours of unpaid labor is all you're getting out of me today. Like, I'm not doing anything else more than that. And then we say bye, blah, blah, blah. I'm walking out with her mom, and we go to pass the concessions. I'm parked on the side of the building. Her mom's parked in the back of the building. I'm like, where'd you park? She's like, back here in the back. And I see all the girls right there. I'm like, bet. Bang to left with her mom. I'm like, I'm leaving out the back door. I'll walk around the whole building to get back to my truck. I ain't about to walk past all these people. And then as soon as I get home, she texts me. She says, they're all upset because you left early and you didn't stay and watch. And I'm like, bro, they got 7 more games.
Look.
7 more games that they got to play. It's
So
not even
there until like 6 or 7.
Yeah, I would have been there until probably 7 or 8 o'clock
Fuck
tonight.
Fuck that.
And that's
we had a pod to record. Fuck
Yeah,
them little bitches. We had a pod to record.
But I'm like, it's whatever, bro. But I'm not about to sit there for fucking 13 hours on a Saturday, bro.
And don't these little shits know that the state of the world? Iran's president was fucking killed in bomb strikes today, bro.
Yeah, that's life.
That's no, bro.
That's
that
life.
was OD, son. I got up at like 4:30, bro. So 4:30 a.m. First thing I do, I grab the pen. I don't grab the nicotine, not the phone. There's like YouTube, like I could barely hear it. I kind of like look at the YouTube, hit my pen a little bit, watch something go on the fucking TV, probably fucking Resident Evil Let's Play or some bullshit, whatever I fell asleep to. And I look over at my phone, bro, and I see like fucking 10 messages from a group chat, and it's all the same shit. Iran. We bombed the fuck out of Iran. And then not only did we bomb the fuck out of Iran then immediately dropped a bunch of fucking, shot their own shit, got their get back. And of course, bro, you already know the chosen, the tiny hat nation. They got out scot-free, of course. Even though they're the agitators and causers of this, they got off scot-free.
But nah, so I don't know. It's just life, bro. And then let me tell you about my week at work, bro. With this fuck ass dude. Dog.
Oh yeah, you quit.
I quit on Friday, bro. Because
so glad I've been waiting to hear this.
Okay.
You saved this one for the
pod. So Monday, we started this job over in Lake Quivira. It's like a $2 million home. This job that we're doing all these like 30 windows and 2 doors and all this shit in this house.
Yeah. I mean, it was fat from what you saw me, and the shit looked nice.
Yeah,
and you sent me that shit Friday,
bro.
Right before you quit.
And so we start the job on Monday. There's this dude that shows up. So it's just me and bro that work together. He owns the company. I'm his one employee. But this is such a big job that he has a buddy that's a carpenter that's coming to help out, and another guy from this other company this guy used to work for coming to help out. Well, the guy that's coming from the other company to help out, his name is Jebediah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So like we're already off to a great start at 7 a.m. I'm on an extension ladder up on the back side of the house peeling the smart trim off the window. And this guy comes around the corner and he looks at me, he goes, "What's your name?"
Oh,
and like
God.
I get like homeowners and stuff like that. Like you're in their home. This is where they sleep. Like they want to know who's in their home. Bro, I'm in a Wyandotte County hoodie on an extension ladder with a hammer in my hand. Don't come asking at 7 a.m. who I am. I'm about to show you who I am, dog. And so he's like, my name is Jebediah. And I was like, what are you? I literally looked at him and said, what are you, Amish?
Did he have like, do you remember when I had my OD
The
beard? When it
Nah,
was just the
he
Amish
was
shit,
clean
bro?
shaven, bro. But he's like, my name's Jebediah. I said, you can call me Michael.
Hey, you are
Yeah,
not
you're
giving
not
him
even getting my government first, bro. You can call me Michael.
Yeah, Mikey.
Yeah, and so
Call me Mike.
as the day's going on Monday, I jump up on the back deck and start pulling the smart trim off the back windows and stuff on the house, and he's working hand in hand with me, and he starts telling me about how he had a career before this career, and so I asked him, I was like, "What'd you do before this?" He was like, "I was institutionalized from my career before this." And I'm like, whatever, bro. I've been to jail. I've done my dirt and seen
Did
my
he touch
time.
kids, bro?
So he hits me with it. I had this career before this. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I've done hella time in the pen. And I'm like, how old are you? He's like, I'm 56 years old. I said, how long have you been on the free side? He's like, I've been out for like 4 years now. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, how long did you do? He said, I got locked up when I was 20. I'm like, so you did 32 years in the pen. That was your career before this career? I'm like, dude, you ain't even got a career yet, dog. You're 4 years into what you've been doing now.
Sun is fried.
Yeah, so like I try to get some information out of him, like, what have you done? Like, blah, blah. I'm like, what'd you do? I've done my dirt, and I've fucking, done my time and shit like that. See my long list of convictions, but he's like, I can't talk about it. And I'm like, man, anybody I know that's been to jail or done some shit or been on some shit, and it ain't no fucking child diddler ass shit. They tell you what they done. He's like, I can't tell you. So that
Yeah,
made
instantly.
me instantly go to, this dude has touched some kids or some shit.
Oh well, yeah. That's got to
And
be
so
like off rip.
yeah, so like I move out the way, I get away from him. Like, bro, I'm about to put my hands on you. You ain't about to tell me you touch kids and think you about to work right next to me. Fuck that. So I move away from him. Well, he goes and tells my boss. He's like, Cavan asked me what I did, but then he quit talking to me and walked away all weird. And I'm like, and Zach came up to me and he's like, why are you acting like that? I'm like, bro, I said, look, Zach, you know my situation. I've been locked up. Tony, the other dude that's helping out with the job, he's had a Class A felony because he was drunk and then fought the police. He was facing 30 years.
So everybody been through.
Yeah, everybody's been through some shit. And Tony's telling me on this back porch, that what he's done and what he's been through and blah, blah, blah. And I'm telling him what I've done and what I've been through.
Yeah, everybody's being open and honest.
Yeah, and Jebediah is just not being fucking open and honest about his shit. So I look at Tony and I'm like, I think this dude touched some kids. And Tony's like, don't tell me that because I'll beat his ass with this 20-ounce hammer right now. I'm like, look, bro, I said, I told you what I do and I just met you today. I was like, this is the first time I met you is today. And you know what I've done. I know what you've done. I know you got a breathalyzer in your truck right now just based off what you've told me. And he's like, yep. Well, what do you think this guy did? And I said, be honest with you, I think he touched kids, bro, or had some CP or something, bro, because, you go to jail. That's not like, oh, I've been to jail, I've been to prison, blah, blah. It's not something to gloat about, but you don't hide that shit. You be on it, open and honest. So I quit fucking with that dude Monday. Tuesday rolls around. I'm outside. We're setting windows in. This dude, Zach, pissed me off, bro. There's 4 windows on the back of his house on the bottom. Well, one of them wasn't set right because it was set like, I don't know, I would say like 1/4 of an inch to like 3/8 of an inch lower than the other 3 windows. And these are windows that are in line next to each other. There's 4.5 inches between these windows.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to tell that one set lower to one you start putting trim on, or you throw a laser on it and you can see shit's out of level.
But you'll see it as soon as you start trim on it.
And shit like that. So, I noticed it was out of level. I threw my laser on it, seen it was out of level. Not my job to report it. I'm just the laborer in this guy's eyes. I'm not supposed to know nothing. So
old dummy.
I'm just playing dumb, bro. I don't know
fucking
nothing.
Idiot. You don't know shit, man.
So then that's Tuesday, bro. We set all these windows in, and then Wednesday rolls around. A dude calls me at 7:50 in the morning. We're supposed to be at the job site by 8. I'm pulling into the job site at 7:50 in the morning, 10 minutes early. I live by a code. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late.
Yeah.
It's not a point I prove to anybody else but myself that I can show up early every day. And so dude calls me at like 7:50. He's like, where are you at? I said, I'm pulling up to the house right now. What's going on? He's like, I'm running behind. So is Tony. Jebediah's not coming today. I'm like, cool, not my problem. I get to the job site. The homeowner. This homeowner has a house in Arizona. This house is just like his lake house in Lake Quivira. $2 million home. Bro's got money. He's sitting outside in the 2026
Lake House and Lake Quivira is crazy.
Yeah, bro.
That's a
Fat ass
nuts-
homes on a golf course, all
nuts
that
spot.
shit. And so I pull up, the homeowner sitting outside in like a 2026 AT4 GMC Yukon Denali, all souped up on rims and tires. The GC of this job that's running this job that we're subcontracting for is sitting outside. So I hop out of my truck just to do my introductions with people, say good morning, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, where's the other guys? I'm like, I don't know. The phone call I got is that they're running late. Now, they show up at like 8:50 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And the homeowner and the GC all morning. I'm in there since 8 a.m. I'm stuffing this
Right.
back rod in between the windows and the framing of the window. So, then we can lay a bead of caulk in there and then it'll fucking be sealed up. And then we can start doing the jam extensions and the casings and the trim around the windows. All morning. The homeowners are like, where are these guys at? And I'm like, I don't know. I was told that they're going to be late. That's all I know. That's what I was told to me. I'm not going to lie to the homeowner, dog.
Yeah,
I'm one of those guys. I'm not a company man, bro. Like, I'm for the people. Like,
for the people,
like
proletariat.
yeah, like
Comrade
like.
Cavan
And here's my thing. I'd be for the company if I got overtime after 40 hours a week. I don't. I get my straight rate pay after 40. I don't get no health, no dental, no vision.
Because you're 1090s.
Because I'm 1099 now. I don't get no health, no dental, no vision, no PTO, no 401k, nothing. So, and that's the thing is, bro didn't tell me all this till after I started the job.
He pulled the old
the old switcheroo on me. So I'm like, man, fuck you, dude. So the homeowner's asking, where's this guy? I'm like, I don't know. He told me he was gonna be late. Well, Tony and this dude Zach show up about the same time, like 8:50 in the morning. Homeowner and the GC are out on the back deck looking at the windows that were set in place the day before. So they walk in, and Tony's like, there they are. And he's like, I'll go out there with you, and I'll have your back. We'll just tell them that we were at Home Depot all morning getting supplies. Boom, about to lie to this homeowner, dog. And I'm like, whatever. So that's some bullshit. I don't believe in that. Like, you don't lie to your customers, bro. I get, like, the customers, that inclination that the customer's always right. But also, it's like you got to take care of your customers because they're putting food on your plate for your kids and your wife and all this other shit.
And like, if it's a big corporate customer that's like exploiting its workers,
that's different. That's
different story. Like what you used to do with the restoration company,
that's
and charging these big hospitals and shit.
That's
that's because they're owned by like
corporations,
massive fucking private equity firms
and stuff like that. But
these fucking homeowners, these are like mom and pop, like regular folk. Like even the more high end ones, like fuck these rich guys. And
but this rich guy is cool, bro. You know,
and if he's being respectful,
and he had like a fridge in the garage that had sodas and waters,
and he don't have to do that. Bro.
He don't have to provide those for us.
I worked for where that doesn't happen, bro. They don't do shit.
They don't care.
They half the time they don't even fucking care to get the power turned on from where you're working at if they don't live there.
Exactly. So, this homeowner's cool. He's providing drinks and, he's got a little snack cart set up for us, and like, that shit don't mean nothing to nobody, but that shit means something to me because, it's like, you don't have to go out of your way and do that. We're here doing a service and a job for you. You don't have to provide nothing for us, but the compensation for that job. You're going above and beyond by providing snacks and drinks.
Especially when it's the homeowner.
Yeah.
Company owner, me and you, of course, agree that they should be like,
you have to, bro.
You need to be paying your guys. You need to be, like, I think you should take your guys out to lunch
and shit.
All that shit.
And so they hit that, we'll just lie to them and tell them we're at Home Depot. So I'm like, boom, that already put a bad taste in my mouth. So they go out there and lie to this GC and this homeowner talking about they were at Home Depot all morning. And that's the reason they're late. So as soon as they do that, I hear that through the glass. And then they come back inside and they start talking about the book of Matthew and you got to lose your life to gain your life with the Lord. And I'm like, you can't lie to somebody, boldface lie to them to cover yourself and then turn around and be like, the word of the Lord today is.
I hate to get political, bro, but that'd be them conservative Christian motherfuckers. They love to talk about Jesus, love the Bible thump, but they be the first to hate gay people, hate black people, hate immigrants, hate fucking hardworking Americans, regardless of who you are. Like, they hate And as somebody that is a really big, and you believe in God too, we both believe in God at this, I think, around the same level. We neither of us go to church, but we believe in God.
Yeah.
You know, that type of bullshit is so ungodly.
Yeah,
bro.
and so like these two dudes are the type of
It's
people.
unchrist-like,
Yeah,
it's unchristian-like, it's uncatholic-like, it's unmuslim-like.
anything. You can't lie to your neighbor, bro.
No,
You can't. And so that's my
even if you're
thing.
not religious, you shouldn't be operating like that. Point blank,
No,
period,
that
bro.
just means your
You're-
moral
you're-
values are fucked.
You're a dishonest fucking person, bro.
Yeah, so they start talking about this, blah, blah, blah. I let it rock. You know, I believe in the Lord, and I believe the Lord's word is good, but also, you know, I have my speculations about everything. I question everything,
Yeah, of
and
course.
that's just who I am as a
'Cause you're
person.
smart.
But they fucking,
You're not a dummy.
yeah,
or a
so they start fucking going into this and blah, blah, blah. So mind you, I've worked for this dude for 3 weeks now. You know my name at this point. I don't have a common name. Cavan is very uncommon. Like, I've never met someone else with the name Cavan, right?
It'd be different if it was like
If it was Mike, Robert,
like
Chris, John,
or if you were working at like fucking Lowe's.
Yeah,
and it wasn't
your shift leader,
your
or
shift lead, but it was the fucking the like at Lowe's they had the specialties manager who
Yeah.
handled the salespeople. Like, say you're a salesperson in lawn and garden, like you'll probably talk to your lawn and garden department supervisor every day, but you're not gonna really talk to your
like
other
the
guy.
GM or the other
Yeah,
department
so
manager.
them knowing you in the first couple of weeks is cool, but in this type of job where
it's just me and him,
Yeah,
bro.
bro.
Yeah, you know my name. So I'm sitting up on this ladder, right? Stuffing this backer rod into the windows. He walks up to me. First thing out of his mouth in person to me is, "What's up, Gavin? How's it going?"
Okay.
And I'm like, look, bro, it's close to Cavan, but it ain't Cavan, all right? And
See, my grandma does that, and I'd be feeling bad when Granny does it
yeah,
too.
but that's
Granny
different.
just be having problems pronouncing
Yeah.
names, so. And I low key think, bro, she got that Bruce Willis
Yeah.
Asia shit kicking low key.
But that's my thing, though, is like we've worked hand in hand, and how I've introduced myself to different homeowners and stuff and jobs that we've been on is when these people ask me my name, I say my name's Cavan. It's like Gavin with a C.
Yeah.
And he's heard me say that, and he's like, "You crack me up when you say that. It's Gavin with a C." And I'm like, "But that's how you pronounce my name. That's the easy way explanation of how you pronounce Cavan without, you know, Cavan, all this other bullshit."
Come on. I love when people say
Yeah.
it like that. That shit funny
And
as
so
fuck, dude.
he hits me with, "How you doing today, Gavin?" I don't even respond, bro. I have no obligation to respond to a name that ain't mine. And so he kind of, I think, got the inclination that kind of pissed me off, you know. So he starts going out and doing what he's got to do. I'm moving down to the basement and stuff, the back rod and these other windows. And, you know, hour and a half, 2 hours pass. He comes down the stairs and he goes, "I asked you this morning, I'll ask you again. How's it going, Gavin?" It's just like 10:30 in the morning at this point. As soon as he hit me with that one, I'm outie. See you later. You're going to do that shit to my face twice and smile about it? Get fucked. So I grabbed all my tools, bro, threw them in my truck, hopped in my truck at 10:30, left. I sent him a text and said, "I'm going home for the day. I'll get with you tomorrow if I'm coming in or not." He goes, "Yeah, man, just keep me updated. Why'd you leave?" I ain't got no obligation to tell you why I left. I'm just telling you I'm leaving. You don't offer me no benefits, no sick leave, no nothing. I have no obligation to tell you where I'm going or what I'm doing. You either got to ask me, am I showing up or when am I going home? That's it.
Yeah.
And so I didn't go to work Thursday, did my interview for this new company on Thursday, my second interview. They called me Friday. So I was really considering, you know, since I did that interview on Thursday, just not going in on Friday and just quitting, you know, telling bro to mail me my check, whatever. So I was like, no, you know, Friday was going to be a nice day outside. I ain't had nothing else going on. You know, let me go to work today. Let me be a productive member of society today. So I go to work. You know, they start having, he's like, "What I'm gonna have you do today is run around the house and start doing the smart trim on all these windows and trimming out all these windows." I'm like, all right. So every window I've installed with this dude, and any window I've installed or worked on in the past,
Yeah.
there's no screws on the outside of the frame of the window. It's always just a nail fin. You nail the nail fin to the house, you tape it off, you throw the trim up, you cock the trim in. Well, these windows are like high efficiency windows. So they have these black pinhead screws on the outside of the frame of the windows on the bottom, sides, and top. So your trim's not going to sit flush to the edge of your window because these screws pop up like an eighth of an inch. So he's like, try to get the trim as close. So that's what I'm doing, bro. I'm getting the trim as close as I can. He's like, cut the boards a little longer so it goes past the screws. So I take that advice. That's what I'm doing. So I do these 4 windows in the back of the house, and this is like probably 10:30 in the morning on Friday. I hit a basement window, second story window, and then I hit the other side of the basement. And now I'm on the back of the house doing these 4 windows that sit next to each other. That's when it comes out that this one window is set like through like a quarter of an inch lower than the other ones. So, I run my side pieces at 78 inches congruent. So I'm 5 1/8 inch from down from the flashing to the top of my trim. So it's all equal across the top of the windows. Well, that's when you notice the quarter-inch gap from this window to the next window. So this is like, I start these windows at like 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm taking my time going through it. This is my only job for the day is doing smart trim on the outside. I'm not going inside and helping with these gym extensions or not. That's you and Tony's job. You told me that my task for today is to be outside doing this smart trim. So that's what I'm working through, and then lunchtime rolls around and I already got 3 side pieces in on these windows and all the bottoms in, and I'm about to go cut the final side piece and then throw the top piece on.
Yeah.
And he's like, you want to go get some lunch with us? And like, I'm already to the point where it's kind of like, fuck you, dude. You can't even say my name right. And even Tony said something on Wednesday, which got me, is because Tony was down in the basement next to me, and Zach came down the stairs and was like, what's up, Gavin? I asked you this morning. I'm going to ask you again. How's it going? And Tony said his name's Cavan. He's told you that already multiple times.
Damn. So even his
so even
like, all right,
yeah. So and then he's like, do you want to go to lunch with us? I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm cool, bro. I got a piece of pizza in the truck. I ain't had no food in the truck, but I don't want to go sit down and share food with you.
Some dick sucker.
Yeah, like I'm like, you want to go out and take me out to lunch and buy me lunch, so you think I owe you something now just because you bought me a plate of food? Get fucked, bro. I'll provide food for myself. So I told him, no, I'm good. He's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah. He's asking me for like 10 minutes. Am I sure I don't want to go to lunch? I'm like, yeah, bro, I don't want to go to lunch. And then Tony finally chimes in. He's like, I don't think he wants to go to lunch with us, Zach. And Zach's like, well, yeah, he doesn't want to come socialize and he wants to be weird. I'm like, and I looked at him and I said, I'll stay weird, cuz. And he's like, oh, that cuss stuff, you think you're tough. And I said, bro, I put my hands on people for less than what they did. And you called me out my name twice on Wednesday. So try again. I said, I don't want to go to lunch. I said, I don't want to sit down and share a plate of food with you. I don't want to sit across the table from you. I'm here to do a job and go home at the end of the day, and that is it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he got the point then that, okay, this dude's just here to work. He doesn't want to be friends. Because, like, here's my thing. It's like, I used to smoke weed and blah, blah, blah every day, all day. This dude hits a pin every single day, all day. He's hitting a pin inside these people's houses. It smells like pin inside the house, all this other shit. He walks around smelling like dirty feet all day because his feet stink so bad, but he won't fucking change his socks. If you got a problem where your feet stink so bad all day, bring an extra pair of socks with you to work, bro, and change your socks halfway through the day. If I can smell you, dude, fix your shit, bro. You're pushing 30, dog. You shouldn't be stinking at this point in your life.
And the like hitting, like, me, obviously, like I smoke weed all day every day. That is my one thing that, like, I got a daughter. I take care of my business, go to work, handle my shit, all that. Smoke all the time, right? But one thing that I'll draw the line, I don't smoke in people's house, in customers' houses. I don't smoke around customers' houses. Like, there's a reason why they made the go to lunch, go to Walmart bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, take a Walmart run, smoke, and then later
run to the gas station or something like that. Don't do it on company property, and don't do it around where.
Well, see, I'll be burning. I'll smoke joints in the company parking lot.
Yeah, but you're in your vehicle smoking. You know what I'm saying?
We're in a little different bag too. Because we got like half the shop smokes outside, so it's not like I'm gonna get caught. And most days I usually do pull off property to go burn.
But so he's one of them dudes that thinks that he's better than everybody because he's got his shit young. He owns his own company at 28. I don't give a fuck who you are, dog. You could be the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar corporation. I'll tell you to hit the nuts when you choke down on it. I don't give a fuck.
So let's ease up on the owner company because he's a franchisee of a national.
That's what I'm saying.
You run a Pella franchise, fucking you don't even run. You are a crew lead of a Pella installer franchise because you're not tough shit, bro. Like, you're doing good, that's cool, but the way that you're acting is OD. You don't need to act like you're fucking Jay-Z.
So be humble, bro. That's all I gotta say. So they go to lunch, bro. They go to lunch at like noon. They don't get back from lunch till like 1:45, bro.
Oh, just bullshit.
Just bullshit. So what they did is we're working in Lake Quivira. Well, they wanted to hit Misty's Cafe over there, or no, they went to this other cafe that's down off 32 in Edwardsville, across from Burning Tire. They go there and it's like, it's down by the gas station, Dollar General. I always forget the name, but it's right there on the corner. And so they go to that cafe.
In the little stone spot?
Yeah.
Near the bank?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he tells me, he's like, we went there and they said it would be a 30-minute wait. So we went down to Misty's down in Turner. And it was like a 20-minute wait. I'm like,
Christie's?
or Christie's down in Turner, across from the middle school.
What?
Yeah, so they're like traveling, bro, for lunch.
Son, Christie's is like 15 minutes from where they was at.
Yeah, so like you drive from Lake Quivira all the way to 32 in Edwardsville, and then you drive another 15 to Christie's down in Turner.
That's OD. They're tweaking.
Yeah, and then you sit down and eat lunch. Then you show up almost 2 hours later. And by then I had already framed in all this trim around this on these 4 windows. Everything looked concurrent, bro. I sent you the video of it.
That shit was fire, bro.
That shit looked good, bro.
So that was where you was at before you decided to fuck off?
Yeah, so then they get back, and here comes this Tony dude. He's like 30, bro. He owns his own company too, whatever. You know, these people that own companies, you know, you can be humble and own your own company, or you can be a dickhead and own your own company.
These guys are dickheads.
These guys are dickheads because they think they're know-it-alls. And he comes out, and he's like, what's up with this gap on this window? I said, if you measure from the concrete to the top of every single one of these windows, this window is a 1/4 inch shy. I said, I don't know who set this window in. I said, but it wasn't me, and I'm not fixing it. And so he looked at Zach. Yeah, because so the trim was all my edges were touching, bro. All you had to do was fill that gap in with caulk, and it would have been the end of the day.
And you wouldn't have even noticed.
You wouldn't, because the caulk would have been painted.
Because you said what is a 1/4 inch?
Yeah, bro.
So a 1/4 inch of caulk, paint.
Yeah,
and you've got the trim as long as right, and your trim was even, right?
Yeah, trim was even, so it looked good, bro. So
you're just bitching.
Yeah. So then Zach's like, you got to pull all this trim off. So I'm standing there, bro, and I'm just like looking at it, like I'm not even giving these dudes eye contact because I'm like, what the fuck you mean? You want me to sit here and take all the work off that I just did because whoever set this window in place fucked up when they were making them all level and even to each other? So you want me to fix other people's problems? Well, I ended up finding out that Tony and Zach were the ones that set these windows in.
You were like drunk or high. Probably.
Yeah, and so then I'm like, cool, whatever. You know, I'll do my duty and bow down and do my job. Yeah. So I peel all this trim off, and then when every window I've ever trimmed or anything I've ever trimmed in my life that you have the picture frame around it, you start at the bottom. You go tight edge to edge, and then you run your side pieces and drop down and go level with your bottom edge of your bottom piece of your trim, and you go flush to the top of the product. Mm-hmm. Then your top piece runs from outside edge to outside edge of your outside side pieces, and then that makes a picture frame on windows. Yeah. Okay, so he's like, well, Tony said the best way to do this is to run your top board first, then your sides, then your bottom. Completely do it ass backwards. So I do it, bro. Whatever, I didn't have to trim the top board. I didn't have to trim my side boards. I just pushed everything down that 1/4 inch. So it's flush across all these windows. And there's probably like a 1/16 to an 1/8 gap on that top window where it was set lower at this point now. But it looks a lot better on the top, I will say that. But now that 1/4 inch gap moved from the top of the window to the bottom of the window.
Which is way more noticeable on the bottom.
Which is way more, it just didn't
and
look.
you can't really cock it that well. You can't have the flashing and all that shit.
No, right? You can't cock bottom of the windows because that's how the water gets out, and water does get in behind it. Yeah, you can cock the top. You can't cock the bottom of the window because then that traps the water in, and then that's when you start your wood rot. That's when you start your trim to start to rot out. That's when you start.
Well, you wouldn't even pass code, right?
Nah,
if they notice, would it?
I don't know. I don't know about the code shit, but fuck it, just don't. It's not the right way to do it.
Yeah.
So I get all. This is probably 3 o'clock in the afternoon now at this point, like because this shit started at like 2 o'clock, and it took me probably. Because I did take a little cool break in the garage while they were gone. Because I'm like, nobody's here, bro. I'm not
little 15, little 15.
No, it's about 25, 30.
Little 25, 30?
Yeah, bro.
Little TikTok?
I sat down in the cut and just mind my business. And then
little podcast watching.
Yeah, so they fucking come back and have me pull all this trim off. I get it all trimmed back out. Now that gap's on the bottom of the window. And Zach comes out. I was like, I don't know what you want to do about that, dog, because you can't cock that. Or you're going to be in trouble and you're going to start trapping water in this window and then you're fucked. He's like, yeah, I don't think Tony thought about that. I said, oh, so Tony gave you the idea for me to retrim this shit when Tony's a carpenter. He's not a window installer when you own your company that installs windows for a living. So you took the advice of someone that doesn't do what you do on the day-to-day basis and rocked with it because it's your homie. So this is probably 3 o'clock in the afternoon. My brother left his job on Friday, and like everyone else that has ever left that job, they do like a little going away party for him. Do a little cake, here's a little luncheon, whatever. They didn't for my brother. It's fucked. He put in 6 years at this company.
That's crazy. Is
Yeah.
it just because he's leaving for another company? Or
Nah, just because he was quitting, bro. But anybody else that's quitted on this job before, they've done a luncheon and some cake for him, or say, hey, let's go grab some beers.
Bro, what is up with you? It's like you, your brother, your mom. You guys are constantly getting
short-handed on shit.
And it's not like you guys like. Let me say this. It's not like I think people. It's just it always seems like you guys never get celebrated. Nobody gives you guys your flowers,
and that's
especially like you and your brother give your mom a lot of flowers. But nobody else outside of that gives your mom your flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Your bitch ass dad will never do that shit.
No.
He's too busy Spartan kicking little kids in the chest for fucking ice cream sandwiches. We'll get to that in another episode of the pod.
But so my mom was like, I want to have a little surprise dinner at the house for Cole. And I'm like, that's cool. And like by then I already knew I got accepted into this apprenticeship program. So I let my mom know, hey, I got accepted into this. She's like, cool, now this is a dual dinner. This is celebrating you and your new career path and your brother and his new way of life and stuff.
What's he doing?
He's opening his own company.
Oh shit, doing what?
He wants to do heavy equipment field service. So he's go out and service heavy equipment in fields and stuff.
Cool.
All power to him, bro. I wish him nothing but the best.
And he can fucking do it. Too.
Yeah, that's what he's been a maintenance man for fucking 12 years of his life. He can maintenance and service anything.
He's got
it. So my mom, like, I have my AirPod in and Zach's right there. This is when he's looking at the finished trim on this window now, and I'm bringing up the fact that you can't caulk this gap at this point, and this is an exposed gap where you can literally see the pellet tape behind the fucking trim. Mm-hmm. And pellet tape is like tinfoil, bro. Any gleamer of light's going to hit that, and you're going to see it. So
it can't be visible at all.
Yeah, and this is on the back of the house, and the back of the house sets east, so you're going to see it every sunrise.
Just shining.
Morning sun off the lake, you're going to see that. So I'm on the phone with my mom, and Zach's like sitting there talking to me, and I'm like telling my mom, I'm like, look, I don't know when I'm going to be off, but make me a plate, put it in the microwave, I'll warm it up when I get there.
That's fucked.
And shit like that. So as soon as Zach hears that, and I get off the phone with my mom, he looks at me dead in the face and goes, I hope you're ready to work late tonight. And I'm like, bro, come on. You just heard that. You just overheard me talking about I had to go to a dinner for my brother and like all my family's going to be around and blah, blah, blah. And now you're talking about I got to work late tonight on a Friday?
Yeah.
Blow me. So I'm like, yeah, bro, that sounds good. And he's like, it better sound good. Talking his shit. And so then, this is probably 3:30, 3:45 now. And I'm like cleaning up my area that I've been working in all day because I'm one of those people, if you keep a clean workplace, you can work clean. And your work looks clean.
You're always OD about that. You used to get on my ass
about bro, make sure the cashier booth was clean,
And I wasn't the best at it, but I was a lot better.
Yeah, but whatever, and so that's my thing is like, so I was cleaning up, all my nails I had pulled out of the house and, all this other shit, sweeping the back patio as my duties entail. And he hits me with, I hope you're ready to work late tonight. And I'm like, cool, whatever. I was like, it sounds good, dog. It sounds good, but it ain't happening. And
he thinks it's happening.
Yeah, he thinks
that fuck shit's happening. That's not how it's going, Playboy.
No. So his wife calls him, bro, probably 10 minutes after he makes that comment to me. And she's like, when are you coming home for dinner? Because the night before on Thursday night, he worked until like 11 p.m. And you're supposed to stop working like Revere at 7 p.m. before you start disturbing neighbors in $1 million homes, buddy. And so they're outside running a miter box and a table saw.
Why is he working till fucking 11 o'clock?
Because he's a fucking weirdo, dude. And so
you think he's like spun or something?
I think so. I think he has like a heavy drug problem or heavy drinking problem in the past, and he tries to hyper focus in on his work and everything like that, so he stays off the shit. And so that's the vibe I get from him. Whatever, dog. You know, I've been through my shit and had my stint
So
with
have I.
other stuff. And, you know, you work late hours while you're going through the process of getting clean
Hey,
to stay
son.
clean.
Me and you,
Yeah.
we went through when we was getting off coke. We both worked. What was it, a month and a quarter straight?
Straight, no days
At go,
off.
and we
Yeah.
did. That's how
Open to
we got clean.
close.
We
Yeah.
both got clean off coke, and you started smoking again right around that
The
time.
time. So,
You got the
fucking.
better. So
And then he was telling me earlier in that day on Friday too that the neighbor across the way like had a flashlight on the front of the house on her neighbor's house recording them. And then Tony cracks a joke earlier in the days. You see, we made KCTV5 last night because we were working so late.
did they actually?
Yeah. No, they didn't actually make the news, but he made that comment because the lady was recording and stuff like that. And I'm like, bro, I'm like, you guys were seeing that they're blasting music on a fucking sound bar in the garage, blowing fucking sawdust everywhere, running saws.
That's like a couple $1,000 fine out there, ain't it?
Yeah, bro. Like
For sure.
Lake Revere has their own
They
police
don't play
department.
about that shit.
Yeah, and so
And sound
and that's my
work because that violates labor laws. That violates noise.
and this is a gated community, bro. So they have their own shit, and it's not even just like noise
So you get
ordinance
that
in the
homeowner
county.
fucked too.
Yeah, and that's how I felt about it too. So this homeowner was in town. So like I was saying earlier, that he has his main properties in Arizona. So he came in town because we had to do some custom framing on these windows, and he wanted to see how it was going to work out and lay out and all this stuff. And he was like, and like this dude is like super anal about his house being clean, which I understand. But it's like day one of us going in there, like we had to wear either boot covers or we had to walk around the house with no boots on because he doesn't want dust or anything dirty on his floors or anything like that. So we had to lay down a bunch of floor protection, plastic off everything, put moving blankets down, corner protectors, stair treads on, all this stuff to even be able to be in the house. And so this dude was in town for like the first week of us working on this house, and then he jetted out back to Arizona on like the 27th or something like that. Like the Thursday, he jetted back home on Thursday. So then he so that means to Zach, that means we can rip trim and rip casing and jam extensions inside now because the homeowner isn't home. So they had been using the miter box and the table saw and the straight cut saw inside, blowing dust all over this multi-million-dollar home, bro.
And it's like furnished and everything. Right?
It's fully furnished, bro.
What are these fucking idiots doing, bro?
That's what I'm saying. So like, we got told from the GC when we came to even look at this job that we could not touch the carpet downstairs because the carpet downstairs was like 30 racks, bro. It was like this fancy fucking carpet and shit all over down in the fucking basement, and like we couldn't touch this shit. So they were running a miter box downstairs on this carpet, and it like completely dusted out the fucking carpet and all this other shit. I'm like, bro, I'm like low key just about to quit this job just because y'all just fucked this dude's house up. And who are you gonna expect to clean this shit? Me? So fuck that.
You're cleaning that shit.
So fuck that. And then whatever it's called, I don't know, but they pissed me off, bro.
Then I know I just pissed you off with that shit, bro. My bad.
It's life, bro. But
I'm over here trying to open a fucking Coke Zero, and I dropped the bitch when I got here, bro. I thought that bitch was fucking good. It's been 45 minutes.
Yeah. The shit started leaking all over my carpet and shit.
Yo, bro, the carpet's cool. I actually made the smart decision, and I immediately put it in my fucking shoe. So
yeah. So
now I'm gonna have a sticky slide. That'll be fun to do.
So then, okay, yeah. So he hit me with the "you're working late today," and that's what I'm like. I'm like, yeah, that sounds good, dog.
Sounds all right.
And then he so then his wife calls him, bro, at like 4:00 or like 3:30, and was like, "When are you coming home for dinner?" And he's like, "I don't know. Why don't you make some eggs until I get home, and then we can eat when I get home?" Like that's the type of dude this dude is. He talks crazy as fuck out of the side of his neck to his wife, who he runs his shit. She don't work. He pays for everything. He bought the house. He bought the truck. He bought.
Don't matter.
It don't matter, bro. You talk to women with respect. Especially the mother of 3 kids of yours.
Yeah, that's
not only this, she doesn't work because she sits at home every day and homeschools these kids.
Oh, so he's like a chud, like
Yeah.
right? He's got to be like a chud Trump
So
supporter.
he is, bro. I've already got that out of him. He asked me like day 2 of the job. He's like, "Who'd you vote for?" And I said, "I don't have my voting rights." I said, "And I don't have an opinion on politics because I don't feed into this new world bullshit. I'm old school. You work a job, you pay your taxes, you go home and take care of
And
your
you probably, and even if you, and look, if you
even if I could
vote,
vote, bro,
you would have said that, and then you probably would have added on. But I'll tell you what, I don't fuck with gay bashers.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with hateful people. I
yeah.
got black family members. My best friend, my podcast co-host. You wouldn't bring up the fact that we do the fucking podcast.
Yeah, but my thing
still,
is
like,
I got
I'm your brother. I'm queer.
Yeah.
You respect me a lot, and
like
so,
what gets me is I got family that's black and I got family that's Mexican. Both of my nieces are half Mexican and half black. My sisters and brothers are Mexican. That's not the I don't play into that.
God rest his soul, Unc.
Yeah.
OG.
So, and that's my thing too, is fucking, I don't play that shit. So he hits me with that, and then his wife calls and asks, and so then I can tell he's got an attitude. Because he's like, great, now I have to go home and deal with her and her bullshit. Starts treating me like shit on the job site. So he leaves at like 4:00. And he looks at Tony, he's like, Gavin's gonna stay here and work with you as late as you want to work.
Oh.
Soon as he said that, I'm like, that's what you think, dog. So he left at like 4:00. And, I'm sitting there and Tony's like, I need you to go sand this Bondo on this deco trim and stuff upstairs. And I'm like,
Get his fucking ass.
I'm like, bro, why you got me doing some bitch shit, sanding some shit that, some Bondo that you guys just slapped up there and it's all high ridged and all this other bullshit. Nothing's flush. You want me just fixing your mistakes.
Nothing looks right.
Yeah, I'm good, bro. So like 4:20 rolls around, I gave it 20 minutes for him to get out of the complex and get down on the road and get up on the highway. And I look at Tony and I'm like, yeah, I got a family dinner to go to. I'm out. And he's like, oh, Zach said you would stay as late as I needed you to stay. And I said, last time I checked, you're not my boss. And last time I checked, neither is Zach. I'm done. You guys figure this out. And he's like, well, I'm not coming back next week to help finish this out. Zach needs you. I said, maybe Zach should treat me with some respect and call me Cavan, not Gavin. Call me by my first name. That was pledged to me by my mother.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck who you think you are.
Let him know.
Yeah.
Let him fucking know.
I was like, bro, Tony, you're not my boss. You're not a supervisor to me.
No.
I'm not following any direction you got to give me. So
Kick
then,
rocks, bitch.
Yeah. So then I grab all my shit. Like I had been leaving like my Milwaukee 6-pack charger there, charging Zach's batteries because he's only got the one battery that gets charged at a time.
For sure.
I got the nicer tools. I got the 6-pack. I got the Milwaukee vacuums. All my shit's Milwaukee, bro. And I take care of my shit and I make sure I have everything I need to walk into a job and know I can finish the job. And so I started packing all my shit up. And Tony realized that. He's like, why are you taking all your tools? And I said, because I got some side work this weekend that I'm going to work on. And he's like, well, Zach doesn't like it when people that work for him take side jobs because he needs his employees' focus to be on his jobs. And I said, last time I checked, I don't work for Zach. And he's like, oh, so you're done? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm done. And I said, you can either tell Zach or I'll tell Zach over the weekend that he can mail me my last check to my address he has. If not, get fucked. And I'll see you at 806 Street, Taylor, Kansas. Shouldn't have said your address out there on government, dog.
Fucker, hold on. Let me note that real quick.
So, yeah. So now I know where you live, dog. I know where you lay your head down at night. So you about to run me my money. So then he's like, I'll tell Zach. So, and then Zach, at the end of the day, before he left, he's like, I need you to pull all my tools inside. I need you to clean up everything. And I left, bro. Left all his shit outside, didn't clean the damn thing up. I loaded my tools up in my truck and I left. I'm not about to clean up after another grown man because you got mad because your wife called and asked when you coming home for dinner. That ain't my problem, bro. You can't run a company. You can't run your household. That ain't my problem. So
yeah,
I'm waiting on. I'm probably gonna send him a text late tonight and just let him know, hey, I found a better opportunity that better suits my life.
So you haven't even let him know yet?
I haven't even told him yet that I'm done. So and here's what got me too is all next week, bro. In the forecast, it's snow and rain, right? So there's some smart trim that still needs to be done outside. And he told me, he said, make sure to bring a raincoat and dress warm because you're outside all next week and I'm going to be inside.
What a
Yeah,
bitch,
bro.
dude.
Yeah, bro. So like
He needs his ass beat on
at that
principle,
point
bro.
too, I'm like, man, you ain't about to have me out in the cold and rain and snow. Like I get it's part of the job, but also it's like, why don't we go out there together and knock the shit out together? So I'm not just outside for a week straight trimming out these windows. Why don't you come out for Monday, Tuesday when it's just rain and 20% chance of rain at that point? We knock the trim out in the 2 days. Then we can both jump inside and start trimming these windows out and doing touch up paint and all this other shit. Nah, fuck that. He's like, you're outside all week. He said, dress warm and bring a raincoat. Yeah.
Shit, son. You
So
gonna hate when this fucking text hits your
yeah,
messages.
bro. And
Soon as
he's got this new dude that's supposed to be starting with him on March 2nd, which is
I
Monday.
guarantee you he doesn't make it more than 2 months.
Yeah, well, here's my thing: is there's a reason that the other guy Zach was trying to tell me that this other guy that left he quit the Friday before I started that following Monday, and he's like, yeah, the guy just he worked slow, he was old, he was like an ex crackhead, all this other stuff, downplaying this other dude. And I'm like, now at this point in my career with this dude, I'm like, man, you were downplaying this dude because this dude read through the fine print and seen that you were a bitch and all this other stuff.
And he was nice enough to wait. Well, and it actually worked out perfectly where you basically waited until he has a new person started.
Yeah, but so this new guy is supposed to start on Monday. This new guy has no carpentry experience.
Oh,
Doesn't know left and right on a screwdriver.
how young is he?
He's 26. He's a year older than me.
Oh,
How
dude.
are you a 26-year-old man and you don't know left and right on the screwdriver?
He's
And
not
you
gonna
got your
last.
new boss telling me that this guy doesn't know left and right on a screwdriver and, work with him and be gentle with him. Nah. If you're going to work with me, dog, you got to know some shit.
Especially,
I'm not going to be telling you how to run a fucking drill, dog, all day. That's common knowledge.
carpentry isn't like OD. Like there's some
No.
shit I understand if you haven't like really spent time doing it. Like
Like if you haven't beveled
like
edges
30 seconds. Look, bro. You know I've been doing carpentry since like I was like fucking 12 years old in various ways with my dad and shit, and then professionally have been doing this shit off and on for like 4 years now at this point, right? Um, I'll say that like still to this day as a grown ass man, 30 seconds will still fuck me up, bro.
Yeah.
Them little 30-second hash
Yeah,
marks and 16ths. And
yeah.
especially because we got to do a lot of conversion from
millimeters to inches and shit.
no, we do ours. It has to be from millimeter because our measurements will come out like it'll be inches, but it'll have the decimal at the end. So we have to convert that to fractions for our tape.
Yeah.
So that shit.
And so, and that's what it's like. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm not about to. And he told me too. He's like, my intentions with you is to get this new guy on, work with him a couple of weeks, and then you keep learning everything and how I expect everything to go. And then he's like, I'm not gonna bump your pay, but you're gonna be the supervisor of this guy and supervise him on jobs, so this guy can take a step back and start doing some office work. I said, so you want me to supervise somebody that knows nothing about this shit and doesn't know how to do nothing, and you're not going to pay me more? Sorry. See you later.
That's
not happening. So I'm thinking about having ChatGPT draft me up a text that says, go fuck yourself. Hope your shit fails in a polite way. Mail me my check. And
fuck you.
Yeah, and that's my thing is
well.
it's like, bro, I don't start my new job until March 23rd. I can take 3 weeks off.
You have money. You can relax.
Yeah, that's what
downsizing apartments too. So
that's why I got to move next weekend and stuff. I don't have nothing packed.
Speaking of, bro, you're fucking my money up with moving next Sunday. So
how
can I?
I'm moving Saturday.
You're moving Saturday. I know. I work. Yeah. I need to work Saturday to make money.
I know. I have my brother and my buddy.
Can I
Zach.
shoot after work then?
Yeah, I don't care. I'm moving in the same complex, just a different building.
Okay, yeah, then I'll shoot by. I'll come straight here after work then.
Yeah.
I won't have shit else to do that day. Well, I got fucking dinner with baby mama and my dad, and my grandma, and them are finally meeting my daughter.
Yeah, so
dude, that's been a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah.
With them.
So it's whatever. That just come here after work and then you can get your shit. But my thing is it's like I ain't about to be nobody's bitch at work, bro.
No, there's no.
I'll take 3 weeks off, bro. I can go to court next month and show them my letter of intent, my offer letter, and all this other shit. And that's proof in the pudding that I'm doing what I got to be doing. I'm clean, can piss clean. You know, get my rights back. Start toting a 4.5 around.
Fucking own guns legally. You don't
Yeah.
gotta be worried anymore.
That's what I'm saying. It's fucking.
Who knows? Maybe, dude. Who knows? Maybe in 2-3 years, weed becomes legal medicinally. You can get a med card,
That's what I'm saying.
and then you could probably end up smoking again without ever having to trip on word.
Yeah.
Who knows? In 6 months from now, you could be comfortable enough to smoke. You just
Yeah.
can't piss on you. Which, I mean, that's what we. If we're as smart blue collar guys, that's what we realistically need to be doing, anyways. Is like, if you're a blue collar guy, even if your job doesn't do on site or quarterlies, you should still keep clean. You should still keep what is it? Non-expired fake piss on you. 'Cause
Yeah.
fake piss does expire. The shit
Yeah.
does expire, but you need to keep that shit on you, bro, because that shit is like
Yeah,
genuinely.
you get hurt at work, anything,
Dude,
they're gonna
you
test you right
fry.
in there.
And that's the thing. Most of the time, these companies are cheap, so they're gonna send your ass to fucking like Concentra or some cheap bullshit
Yeah.
where it's like some fucking brother who gets paid
$14
like
an hour.
$15 an hour to collect fucking piss.
Yeah.
And he hates his life, and every hour and 30 minutes he goes out and he smokes a fucking Newport short and thinks about how much better life could be if you didn't have to collect white people that do drugs piss all day.
Yeah. So that's what
Shit, I guess we can call it, man. That was a good fucking hour.
we'll see.
All right.
I ain't
Fucking-
fucking with that dude.
Yeah. Fuck it, dude. You want to call it? That was 55 minutes. We
Yeah.
just fucking killed that shit. All right, bet. Thank you guys for tuning in. I am the fucking co-host and producer, Hendrix Hideout.
CM remodel, cuz.
CM remodel. Motherfucking joined by the main host, my host, Cavan. Thank you guys for
Cavan's the CEO and operator, vice president of Cavan's Whorehouse. You got the dough, we got the hoe. How may I help you?
and he hosts this, and I'm just the lowly co-host and producer and editor and backbone. You know, that's what I do.
I'll hit you guys with this as we leave. POV when you feel a sharp pain in your balls, so you know your homeboy lying on your soul to a bitch.
Oh God, I be doing that shit a lot.